I thought I knew who the best SEC team was this year, but after this weekend's game, I'm really questioning who might be number one in the conference. I truly thought Alabama was the hottest team and one of the hottest teams in the nation, not just the SEC. Ty Simpson had turned it around. The defense was playing at an elite level. Ryan Williams was balling out. The offense was just clicking. They got that ground game going just like they had under Saban. And then they go and lose to Oklahoma. John Mateer and the Sooners with a bounce-back win versus Bama, beating them for the second consecutive year, despite probably being less talented both seasons. Now, you look at me and you're like, yo, Texas A&M is undefeated. They're 10-0. And I'm with you. It's hard to argue against that. They've got the best record. They're one of 3 teams left in the country that's undefeated. How is Texas A&M not the number one SEC team to you right now, Peter? Where are they? Well, I'm a little torn, I must admit. They went down 30-3 to the South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, I know Lenora Sellers is a baller, but he has not been that this year for them. That defense has not been good. Outside of Harbor, they don't really have many playmakers on offense. But Sellers did come to play, at least in the first half. And they pretty much got a dead man walking at coach, It just seems like Beamer is going to be out. I can't believe he wasn't fired after that result. I know he has the respect of the AD. They must be close friends. So maybe he's waiting to the end of the year. I don't know what the advantage is, but everybody had South Carolina dead to rights in this game. But they march into Kyle Field, drop a 30 bomb in the first half. Now, admittedly, it was an impressive comeback, winning 31-30. No points, of course, in the second half for South Carolina. But my goodness, man, when you get down that big to that kind of opponent, it makes me question how talented you really are, or how focused are you really. Now, I think Mike Elko, it was a great hire 2 years ago. And he's clearly earning his keep down in College Station. He is really doing his thing. And I'm very impressed with him. I think he has a bright future down at A&M. And, of course, they got that oil money, so they're going to be a real player. Now the NIL is a factor, and the transfer portal is good, too. I was really impressed with what he did at Duke, and so I figured he'd probably do well at A&M. He's actually taken off quicker than I thought he would. The Aggies are definitely in contention, but when you're really looking at these things, you've got Texas A&M, you got Georgia, you got Bama, and you got Texas. Now, as we all know, of course, Georgia stomped Texas this past weekend. I knew Texas wasn't one of the best teams. They were creeping up back into playoff consideration, and had they beaten Georgia, they would have been squarely in the playoff conversation with 2 top 10 wins already versus Vandy and another opponent, and one potentially to follow versus Texas A&M. But they're not one of the best teams anymore. Arch Manning has underperformed most of the season outside of the Vandy game. Longhorns aren't in consideration. What about the Bulldogs, man? Are they one of the best teams in the SEC? Now, they certainly have a case. I have doubted them. They're not at the level that they were in 21 and 22. It's just the fact of the matter. The defense isn't as elite, but they are figuring things out in the pass game. Gunnar Stockton has exceeded my expectations at quarterback. He's playing well. He makes good decisions. He can run the football. Everybody knew that already, but he's doing that at a good level, at an elite level, I would say. And the Bulldogs are humming with the 1 loss on the season. Yes, to Bama. So who's the top team? I really thought it was going to be Bama. I thought they were playing the best. And they dropped 1 to Oklahoma. The Bulldogs are certainly in contention, and in some cases would be the best SEC team. In my opinion, they just might be it. They put a smackdown on the Longhorns, who were improving throughout the season. Let's be honest. They weren't looking great. They weren't looking like a preseason number 1 team. But they were showing improvement. Steady and slow and gradual improvement. But improvement nonetheless. For anybody that's followed this channel, I've knocked Georgia throughout the years. I don't think Kirby Smart's a great developer of men. I truly don't think he is. I don't think he cares about that much. I may be wrong because I don't watch many of his interviews, but it's just the sense I get, my discernment telling me that. But football-wise speaking, man, there's no question his X and O's. They have won so many tight contests that I can't quite put them as the top SEC team. The Aggies truly are your SEC conference's best offering this season. I think Georgia can make a deep playoff run, and I think the Aggies can. I question their defense at times as well, just like I do with the Bulldogs. But Marcel Reed is unbelievable, man. That dude is an athlete. He's really fun to watch. He's so fast. I love the athletic guys that can throw the football as well. It's my favorite play type in NCAA College Football 25, and it's also my favorite to watch in college football in general. But for my Buckeyes, man, Julian Sain throws that ball. He can make every throw, and he's probably the best quarterback in the nation, if I must admit. But this is an SEC video. I do have the Aggies as the number one team for now. The Bulldogs are right on their heels, nipping at the bud. We're going to see who squares off in the SEC title game and who ultimately goes further. I hate that college football is about the professionalization now and all about the playoffs, not so much about focus on conference and rivalries and tradition and history. That's what I love about college football, those things. I don't like it that it's playoffs or bust, go home or bust, national title or bust. But that's the reality of where the sport is in the direction it's moving. So whoever wins the SEC isn't necessarily obviously guaranteed to go further in playoffs, but they're probably going to be remembered as having the better season because that's where we're at in college football. But what do you think below? Who's the best team in the SEC? Is it the Aggies? Is it the Bulldogs? I really probably can't argue for anybody else. Bama with 2 losses and Texas with 3 now. But that's going to do it for this one. Go Bucks and God bless. We'll see you on the next one.